Yo, what's good? I am TJ Nappy Red, and I'm rocking with my man Links on the Move on the social experience here on Power Blendz 99.8.
Yeah, I did. Okay, we're gonna get this merch out.
What up?
What up?
What's going on, Lady Esquire?
Not much.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are
Good.
you? How
Oh
are you?
man, I had a good week so far.
That's what's up.
I don't even know what to do with myself right now, but I do know.
It's the end of the week, too.
Right, and I do know I am ice cold Dre the game,
And I am Lady Esquire.
and we are
Legally loaded. Yes.
That's what I'm talking
We
about
want to
right
thank
there.
y'all for tuning in today.
Exactly.
There's people in the chat already.
Right. Turn right around.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And we got a show. We got a show for you.
We
today.
sure do.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
And we've been talking about a lot of heavy stuff
A lot of heavy
up
stuff.
to now. So
A lot. And there's been updates about Nolan Wells.
Right.
There's been a lot of updates. So for all of you that thought you can hide video footage, guess what? You can't.
Turns
I'm gonna tell you
out,
why. Because they have the footage of you guys doing what you was doing to Nolan.
that part. I told you it was coming.
You said that.
I told you it was coming.
You said that. You can't delete it, huh?
It's not. It's out there.
Right.
It's out there.
Right.
Maybe you can delete it directly from your accessibility. From your accessibility, but you're not the end all be all.
Yeah.
It's out there.
That's crazy
It's
work,
out there.
man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. BX Native, thanks for turning in.
Yes. Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the love.
Cupcake
Thank you.
lady.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Mm.
That is my girl.
Yo, but I'm excited about today.
Me too.
I'm definitely excited because these days, you know, when people look at well, no, I'm not gonna say that. When people assume you have a firearm, they make an ass of themselves. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because
Every time.
because now there is a situation when people assume someone had a firearm and they didn't.
And they did not.
Right.
Yeah. Today we're gonna talk about. Usually every week we talk about one tragedy that we have seen in the minority community.
Right.
Since our last show.
Mm.
And there's so many more, right? We can't even possibly cover them all. But this week we're actually going to touch on 2.
Right.
Because thank you to our listeners and our viewers
Thank
that
you.
reached out
Thank
to
you.
say, hey, there's more that you guys need to know about. So
Yeah.
we're going to make sure that we touch on those stories. So I actually already have it in the chat.
Right.
We're going to be talking this week about the Anthony Williams II shooting.
Yes, that was bad.
That happened in Austin, Texas. And then we're also going to be talking about a story about a young man named Lon Hartman,
Yes.
who went to a music festival in
yes.
Michigan
Yes.
and nearly lost his life
Yeah.
over a racial hate crimes.
A racial hate crime.
So we're going to be talking about that as well. And then for today's tea,
Mhm.
we're going to get into resisting, obstructing,
Obstruction.
interfering, which
Because
we've been
what
like hinting,
Yeah,
teasing
we-
you guys
we need
about
to
for a
find out.
while.
What is resisting? Later
Right.
on, we need to find out.
Right. How are we escalating from I'm just standing here I'm not touching you, I'm not bothering you, to now I'm charged with a felony.
Right.
How are we getting to that spot?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Tiffany, thank you for tuning in.
Tiffany. Oh, Tiff, thank you so much. We're so excited to see you, Tiff. Tiff is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know her from another podcast that we used to associate with. Both of us used to associate with a while back.
Okay.
And even from the concepts of doing a show like Legally Loaded, Tiffany has been a massive supporter. So thank you, Tiff, so much.
What kind of podcast Tiffany had?
Tiffany did not have a podcast, but she worked with the station.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like, how some people do here. They don't necessarily have to be on camera and do a podcast, but she was a behind the scenes type of administrative support. And,
really?
Amazing individual.
Hey, Tiffany, Power Blendz.
Great integrity. So, yeah. We love Tiff. So, and she's out in Pennsylvania, I think Philly area.
Really?
Yeah, so checking in from out there on the East Coast.
That's what I'm talking about, Tiff. Like I said, Power Blendz.
Right, Power Blendz. Call me later, Tiff. Call me later. I see that we got the number up today. If you want to call in, we've got our number up already in the chat, 470-305-1707.
Yes.
And also, like I said, we've got those hashtags up. Because I felt like we need to start doing that, because that's going to draw people who are interested in those cases over to our show, but also let the families, the loved ones of these people who we're supporting, we want them to know that we've heard about.
And you know what else that we have?
What's that?
We have Legally Loaded tea glasses, right?
We do. We got merch.
Yeah, we got merch.
We got
see that?
Coffee cups.
Tea
cups.
Hold on, though. Look.
Dre's about to model.
See that right there?
You can see I got the one with the big logo on the front. We've got a couple weeks you'll see us in some real cute polos. We're doing bucket hats. We're doing trucker hats.
Exactly. Legally loaded.
We're gonna have you ready to go.
Exactly. And also I wanted to say I want to give you your flowers.
Oh, how sweet.
You know what I'm saying? Because basically you have changed the way of me thinking about a lot of things when it comes to police contact and law in general. And I just want you to understand that even my algorithm have changed over a lot, because I do a lot of homework. When you send me stuff to look at, I really dive into it. Right. And I want to say thank you for making me your co-host of this phenomenal show.
Thank you. And thank you for doing it. And thank you for telling people that, because that's the goal, right? I don't want to change people to someone that they're not. But when you have more information, you move different.
Right.
So that's what the show is all about, is sharing information, letting people learn how to find the accurate information, and then they can decide for themselves, right?
Right.
They're entitled to have their own opinions about whatever the cases are that we talk about, whether or not they think we're correct about legal knowledge that we're passing out.
Right.
But at least it's there and it's available. And that way people can apply it the way they see fit. So,
and shout out to Shorts 2 Big 1.
Yeah. And hey, if we know who you are, if you know me or Dre personally, pop up and tell us exactly who you are, because sometimes I have a lot of friends whose shorts are too big. So I could know you. Let's just be real. I could know you and not know that I know you. So let us know who you are, just because we like to say hi to our friends.
Exactly.
So let's get started.
Let's dive into this.
On today's show, first things first. So Anthony Williams.
Yes.
17-year-old young Black teenager in Austin, Texas, who was killed on July 24th, 2026.
Yes, he was.
By the Austin PD.
Yes, he was.
First and foremost, our hearts go out to his family.
Yes.
His loved ones, his friends, everyone whose life that he touched. And not only that, the community, because you got to be shook right now. That Austin, Texas community has got to be shook.
They have to be, because what a police officer said, he had a firearm. and he didn't have a firearm. He had a water bottle.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He had a whole water bottle.
Yes. Yes.
And they shot and killed him because they said he had a firearm.
Right. And so, unfortunately, I think there was a call to 911, and they've since established that that call actually came from his phone, saying that there was an individual at the park with a firearm. So I guess, if that's accurate, I have not heard a 911 call yet. Hopefully that gets released as time goes on, as this investigation gets closer to decisions being made. But like we've talked about before, there's some laws and rules that say that prosecutors, district attorneys cannot release those type of things while they have an open investigation. And this just happened, not even a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So it's not unusual that we're still waiting on 911 calls and things like that to be released. But if that's true, hypothetically, if it's true, that gives reason for police to show up on high alert.
Right.
I'll give them that. If the call is that there's someone armed,
right,
and then you show up, you should be kind of in safety mode when you get there.
Right.
So, not downing the police for doing that, but.
Right. There is a but now.
There's a but, because turns out what they also think, and what has been said by this police department, is they think that this may have been a call that was an attempt at suicide by a police officer, meaning that if that's the case, this young man was in a mental health crisis, and they missed the cue.
So the thing is, right, and this happened in Detroit, right?
This happened in Austin. This one's
Austin,
Austin,
Texas, right?
Right.
So, basically, when it comes down to it, it's either if the police officers were found wrong, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna get fired? Do you think there's criminal justice towards them? Do you think like what's gonna happen if they're found guilty for killing this kid and he had a water bottle?
I think that this is going to be a really tough one. And something that the updates are that there's some civil rights attorneys involved in this, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in a few minutes as well. But I think this is a tough investigation, because if the call says there's an armed gunman, if the call ends up that it actually came from Mr. Williams himself, I think it makes it tough, despite what our opinions of it might be. I'm not saying that they made the right choice, but I think it makes it tougher for the case to get proven that the action they took was unacceptable. No matter what, though, I hope that investigation shows that they need more training in dealing with crisis situations. They definitely got to be able to take a couple more seconds to think, because the body cam that came out is showing that this young man lifted his shirt and reached towards his waistband, but it was just a water bottle. So this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a really tough one, but there's quite a few investigations going on.
Supposed to be trained for something like this.
Absolutely.
Instead of, I understand they are police officers, right? So they have to come to a scene locked and loaded, right?
Yeah.
They have to, because that's the job.
Right.
But if you're trained to do something and you pull out your firearm and you say, put your hands up or freeze and all of this, why is the first shot to kill and not to wound? So
they are, from what I've always been told.
If you shoot him in the arm or you shoot him in the leg and then go over there, and the kid has a water bottle, but you didn't do that. So it's like, yo, you know what? Now we're going to look at it as, hey, was it a white police officer who killed a black kid with a water bottle?
And was that black kid just seen as an automatic threat?
Right.
As opposed to a young black man in crisis?
Exactly.
Right? Did we just skip over that step of the assessment?
Right.
So that's a really good question. If we've got officers police officers that listen to our show or watch our show.
Mm.
I'd love to hear from them to know, because I've always just heard from people who I know who are in law enforcement that that's what they're taught to do. You take that shot. So, hopefully we can start getting some feedback.
So what's going to happen is, right, my nephew is a DeKalb County police officer.
Amazing.
So what I'll do is I'll talk to him and I'll ask him to come on one of our shows so he can give us insight on how they roll to calls like that.
That's amazing. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea. Yeah. So we're getting ready to go to a break.
Exactly.
And so when we come back from the break, we're gonna talk about what are the updates on this. There are some investigations going on, right? Internally and externally, independent investigations and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that we let you know about all of that. And then we're going to move on to talking about Lon Hartman.
Exactly.
So I'm Lady Esquire.
And I am Ice Cold Dre the Game.
And we are Legally Loaded.
We'll be right back.
To the #1 radio show.
Ready to stream the #1 station.
Our Blendz 99.8. Represent. I never had a feeling like this. You're the only one for me. You lift me up and keep me high. Make me feel like I can fly. I've never been kissed like this. I've never been touched like this. You saw the good side of me.
Let's go.
I was lost, didn't know what love could be. Going through life with broken dreams. I was cool, I couldn't trust. Then you came and showed me us. You were patient through my pride. Held me down, stayed by my side. Now I'm struggle with your near. You've been right my every fear. I never had a feeling like this. You're the only one for me. You lift me up and keep me high. Make me feel like I can fly. I've never been held like this. I've never been loved like this. You saw the good side of me, even when I could not see. And you're more than just a piece of mind. You're the light that makes me shine. Took my pain and turned it sweet. Gave my heart a steady beat. Did I judge the man I used to be? Still believe when the world gave up on me. Now I wake up feeling blessed. You gave my broken heart a rest. I never had a feeling like this. You're the only one for me. You lift me up and keep me high. Make me feel like I can fly. I've never been kissed like this. I've never been touched like this. You saw the good side of me. Even when I could not see. I never had a feeling like this. You're the only one for me.
I'm just going to take a singing lesson. Try to sing some of these songs.
You're the only It's Power Blendz 99.8. It's your boy Easy. Don't touch that dial. I've been breaking the night, can't sleep, rain tapping all on my windows, but them sounds make peace. Why do I love this white noise from my AC? It'll distract me from the void and these things I can't see. Love, bring on overdrive, and I might be going nuts. They don't understand my mind, but I don't think no one does. Feeling like my ankles tight, my legs is going numb. I've been down a million times, but I won't be slowing up. And now I'm done, rid of the beating. What am I thinking? What is the reason? Laying in bed, I'm closing my eyes, I'm staying awake, stare at the scenes. Fill out my phone to look at TV and keep myself from falling asleep. It's way too quiet, put in the fan and give me some noise, quiet the beat. My ADHD popping out, if I crank the system up, I hope the beat get louder now. My thoughts too loud, hope the speakers drown it out. Brain going 1,000 miles a minute, I ain't stopping now. Way too late, I can't think straight, it ain't my choice. Voices in my head, but it's my voice. Gotta drown it out with some white noise, yeah. Said it way too late to hallucinate, it ain't my choice. Trying to block it out, but it's my voice. Gotta drown it out with some white noise, yeah. I've been breaking the night, can't sleep, rain tapping all on my windows, but them sounds make peace. Why do I love this white noise from my AC? It'll distract me from the void and these things I can't see. Yeah, some nights when I'm by myself, I start to daydream, trying to think of something else, hoping that can save me. Wanna get some therapy, maybe that'll change me. If you ever felt like me, maybe I ain't crazy. And I wanna try, but it won't this quick when I just get so distracted. Can't get in my vibe, but at nights like this, I just don't know what's happening. Wanna take some hands, but I know that, but I have my soul adapted. I get in my head in the season, you probably won't imagine. My ADHD popping out, if I crank the system up, I hope the beat get louder now. My thoughts too loud, hope the speakers drown it out. Brain going 1,000 miles a minute, I ain't stopping now. Way too late, I can't think straight, it ain't my choice. Voices in my head, but it's my voice. Gotta drown it out with some white noise, yeah. Said it way too late to hallucinate, it ain't my choice. Try to block it out, but it's my voice. Gotta drown it out with some white noise, yeah. Said it way too late and I can't think straight, it ain't my choice. Voices in my head, but it's my voice. Gotta drown it out with some white noise, yeah.
The bullet started above the couch and followed her down the hallway. 13 shots fired. Not one hit her. After foster care, abandonment, assault, and homelessness, she should have been broken, but God preserved her. You're Not My Real Dad is more than a book. It's proof that pain doesn't get...
Yeah,
We're back.
Are back.
We're back. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in.
Exactly, Lady Esquire.
So, while we were on break,
Right.
we saw some more of our legally loaded family chiming in.
Okay.
So, we've got, I saw JC Whalen pop in, who is in, holy moly, JC, where are you? Virginia. Virginia or West Virginia? He's a comedian out there. I think he's in Virginia. Great guy. He's also on another podcast that comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Well, thank you for tuning in, JC.
JC, make sure I get all your information because we want to support you like you support us.
Exactly.
So make sure I have all that information so I can start giving it out correctly. Staffers, we see you popping in the chat. She's in Michigan. And we
shout out to Michigan.
Tiffany coming out from Philly.
Okay, Tiffany.
Yeah, we got the
BX native.
Right,
Riley.
BX native. You're in North Carolina. Yeah. Y'all represent all over the country today. All over the country. So we appreciate you. So let me just touch back to what we were talking about with this young man, Anthony Williams, and let's let our listeners know kind of where things are in the investigative process and what to be watching for, because we will be keeping you updated on this.
Right.
So the Travis County District Attorney's Office which is where Austin, Texas is. Their civil rights unit is conducting an independent criminal investigation.
Okay.
So that's one thing that's going on. The Austin Police Department is conducting their independent investigation, like what do they call that? Like, the internal administration investigation they're conducting with whatever happened with the officers. But then, just recently, the Black Lawyers for Justice came on the scene with this particular case, and they're civil rights attorneys that are coming alongside the Austin Justice Coalition, and they have announced a formal civil rights investigation.
Yeah, I know what that means.
So they are on the job. And then also we've got the National Police Accountability Project, NPAP. That's a civil rights advocates, and they're actively demanding some federal involvement to look into this.
So lately, the civil rights attorneys, they have been really busy for the last couple of months, huh?
They've been really busy. You know why? Because we went back 50 years. So busy like they were when Martin Luther King was marching, right? Like we went back in time, and all these civil rights violations are happening, and boom, here they are.
There's a lot going on.
It is a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. That's why I stay out the way, because without you bringing this show and having me a part of it, like, I could have been one of those people.
Without me going to law school, like we've talked about before, I didn't go to law school until I was well into my adult years, and
thank God.
I just wouldn't have this information. It's one of the reasons that it was so important to me to do the show, because I just thought that I understood what was going on out there, and really I didn't know.
We didn't know anything.
I didn't know. I was on the law school short bus.
But that comes from what? Google University.
All that. So everybody, support this family. Keep your eye on this case,
right?
Along with the others that we've been talking about. Again, our hearts go out to the family of Anthony L. Williams II.
Yes.
For your loss.
Yes.
And we hope that whatever the truth is, the truth comes out.
Exactly.
For this family, and we will keep following this. And if you all want to reach out to us, obviously you can get a hold of us here, and our number is posted, and you can reach us in the chat anytime. We're happy to continue covering this story and make sure that we have the insight from the family as well.
Right.
So,
and we have been covering the Nolan Wells story as well. The
Nolan Wells story and a couple of others, right? So, and we will keep following up on those. So, but real quick, I want to take a few minutes to talk about Lon Hartman. Okay. Lon Hartman is a young man from Detroit, Michigan area. And, we say this is every time we got to say it, we send our love and energy to the family. Lon is still with us. Thank God he's still with us. So Lon, we send our love to you.
Right.
And we're so proud of you for fighting. Keep fighting.
Yes, keep fighting.
What I want to say about the Hartman family is, while I can't go into detail about who put this story on my radar, because that person doesn't want to take away from the energy that needs to be on the family. But what I want to say to the Hartman family and to Lon is that there's an individual who your family touched their lives years ago, that did a kind gesture that changed this person's life, and they've never forgotten you for it.
That's awesome.
And because when this happened, they saw that it was your family, they were so hurt, because they know your family, they know your character, and they know that their expectation would be to know what Lon's character is, and they wanted to send that love back your way. So they reached out to say, we know that Legally Loaded has been covering stories about tragic things that are happening to young Black people, or Black people at the hands of racism and hate. And this is one of those stories. So please, will you make sure that it gets some attention? So here we are. So Hartman family, just know that the seeds that you've sowed, the seeds you've sown throughout your life, that they haven't been forgotten.
No, not at all.
And that's how we became aware of Lon's story.
Right.
So,
and legally loaded support you guys.
We
in
do.
any kind of way.
We do. So let's just tell our viewers, let me fill our viewers in on what happened with Lon, and then let's talk about that a little bit. So, I want to get this date right. So basically, Lon Hartman went to something called Bliss Fest, which is a music festival.
Yes, it is.
That he had been to before. Right? It's up in Michigan.
Right.
He had been to it before.
Right.
He's a dancer. Went with his dance partner and some friends to Bliss Fest, and it apparently is something where like people can pitch tents and spend the night there and some real like in the forest have a good old time type of thing. After his performance there, he decided to make it an early night and turn in for the night. And when he did that, of course, his friends thought, oh, we'll see him in the morning. The next morning, Lon was found with part of his body hanging out of his tent, and his neck had been slit. His throat had been slit. And he was bleeding profusely. Fortunately, they were able to get him medical attention. And he, last that we knew, still remained in intensive care. I do know that reports have said that he was able to at least identify who did this, though it was not through words. But when the officers asked questions, he was able to blink and give yes and no's, from what I understand. So so there's an investigation ongoing, and they say that the police agencies do know, but. To be honest, and Hartman family, if you're out there listening, I scoured the internet today and yesterday trying to find the most recent updates on what's going on, and I can't find anything. This was on Detroit News. This was big news when it happened just a couple weeks ago, and it's very hush-hush now. And so we need to keep this. We need to keep this at the front of everybody's mind right now.
Like, that's crazy because
it's wild, right?
If it's been on the news, right?
Yes.
And so people are looking for any kind of updates.
Absolutely.
So when you hide things like that, like you're basically saying, I'm hiding something because I'm guilty of something, right?
So the family reports that the night before this assault, they received text messages from Lon saying that he didn't feel safe. And so it's kind of like what we talked about with Nolan Wells, like, something's fishy, something's not adding up. And Lon Hartman, he works with kids, known to be just a guy who would give you the shirt off his back. His assault happened on July 11th, so we are almost a month out. We're almost a month out from that. And he lost 8 pints of blood.
That's a lot of blood.
That's a lot of blood. Like it's amazing that he's even still alive right now. But he worked with kids. If you look it up on the internet, Detroit News covered it, like I said, Lon Hartman. There's people who worked with him, students who worked with him. They're in tears over their beloved Mr. Hartman, who would do anything for them, and has now been a victim of this type of violence. And so, yeah, it's wild. And
it is wild because right now, so all of the cases that we have brought to our listeners and our followers, right? All of the cases that we have brought to them, they're all in a situation of the same thing, really, because every time people think, like every time the law is involved, there's something shysty or shady going on.
There's definitely some type of delays of some type of, like, we're not getting answers. There's not transparency, right? So definitely. Also, Lon is really blessed to have a best friend,
right,
who is a social media influencer, and she's not playing around. And her name is Therese Garnier. She's on Instagram. Yeah. She's been on the news. She's been everywhere. And she is keeping the fire lit to make sure that he gets justice.
She needs to because her and Legally Loaded, I think that, justice should be I think justice will prevail.
I think so too. And Trace, wherever you are, track us down, girl. We know who you are. You need to know who we are.
Right.
Keep us informed about what's going on, because I know that you've got petitions going. You're sending people to talk to the governor's office in Michigan, to Gretchen Whitmer.
Mm-hmm.
You're keeping the pressure on for there to be a
full
investigation. Don't let up. Do not let up, and keep everyone informed, because I know the one thing that you've said is that your best friend deserves justice, and that's absolutely true. He does. And Lon, you're blessed to have her. We're praying for you and for your full recovery.
Right.
And we hope that one day you can tell us what's going on with this. We hope that you've recovered to a point that you can tell us your story.
Yeah, because that's not right. Like that man is minding his business, having a good time, and he wake up the next morning and his throat is slit. That's crazy.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So we've got a couple minutes
before
we go to another break. So let's shift gears, because let's talk about today's tea. Let's give them the preview.
All right.
What's today's tea going to be about? The tea. Y'all need to reload a teacup.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes. Resisting arrest. So they say.
Yeah. Resisting. So in the ICE code, Dre, the game definition of resisting, hit them with it.
All right. So basically, in our world, they say that we resist because we're asking questions. In our world, we're asking questions. They ask you to get out of the car, and we're saying, why do I need to get out of my vehicle?
Oh yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah.
So now, if you don't get out of the car, you're resisting arrest. Resisting arrest for what?
Right, because you're just sitting there, right?
I'm just sitting here.
You're not fighting them.
I'm not fighting you. My hands is on the steering wheel.
10-2.
Right, and you're telling me to get out of my automobile.
And now you're saying I'm resisting, obstructing, or interfering with my investigation, right? Those three words go together.
Why?
Resisting, obstructing, and interfering. They all
I'm not
go
moving.
together.
I got my hand on the steering wheel. My car is not turned on, anything like that, but I'm resisting arrest.
Right.
So
that's
what's going on.
We're going to break that down. So the first thing, though, and that's called passive resistance. But we're gonna break that down.
Passive
That's what the
resistance.
whole final segment of our show. We're gonna talk about passive resistance.
So you're telling me, if I'm sitting, if I get pulled over, hypothetically, if I get pulled over, I turn my car off, I roll down my window, I got my hands on the steering wheel, I'm not moving at all. You're telling me to get out of the vehicle without even telling me why you even pulled me over, right?
Yep.
So I'm not getting out of my vehicle. I'm asking you to get a supervisor. Your supervisor pulls up, and I'm sitting in the same position. Why am I resisting arrest?
So as we get ready to go to break, I want you to think about two things. One, if you've ever had a friend, a family member, a child you raised, anything like that was passive aggressive. Passive aggressive. And I want you to put that in context and say, is it possible to be passively resisting? Second, I want to point out to everybody for when we come back that when resisting arrest comes down to it, we're not just talking about police officers, but we're talking about probation officers, parole officers, correction officers, ICE agents, game wardens, and wildlife officers. All of those can be resisted.
So we're going to talk about this.
We're going to talk about it. Because, I'm Lady Esquire.
And I am Ice Cold Dre the Game.
We're legally loaded, and we'll be right back.
Power Blendz 99.8.
Your radio up for the station that plays no commercials.
Let's go.
Power Blendz 99.8.
I'm a street legend. Look at my dance, I like that. Yeah, this is the remix. Nice red heels, jeans hugging, head to the shoulder, mugging, look like me loving. Might be friendly, she might be stubborn. And all I know is that she had y'all heat bugging. I was on the other side sipping, puffing, popping over here a little different. We touching, everybody prone, no riffing. Fussing, you can get that, don't sweat that. It's nothing.
It is when it's going, I can't call it all.
knows I had to step up, step up. Beat it up, cut the days, roll it from first place. The mother cats try to get ya. Moving them hips, kill me, but every tip, girl, you about to get a tip to it now. But once that goes down, as you turn me down, but this time around, hey, how you doing? Baby, what you getting buzzed to? I don't know what your name is, I'm who you getting, but I ain't getting without you. Hey girl, how you doing? I've never seen nothing like you. Body that shape is your claim to baby girl. I ain't leaving without you. No. I want your body. Yeah. Oh, what to drink, what you sip? I got the next round. I'll tell you who's now. Tell me what's up, what's up. Conversation, my eyes is happy with your eyes. Don't get me out of line, you better shut up, shut up. You're moving on hips, killing me with every tip, girl. You about to get a tip, you look down. The worst that goes down is you turn me down. You feeling your boy down, so I dive and show that. Hey, how you doing? Baby, what you getting into? I don't know what your name is or who you getting. I ain't even without you. Hey girl, how you doing? I've never seen nothing like you. Cause a body that shape is your claim to baby girl. I ain't leaving without you. No. I want your body. Your body. Oh, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. I want your body. Your body, your body, your body, your body, your body.
Yo, let's leave the club, get some rum, get the tongue, get some love, and handle our business. Me and you and me. You seen it, I'm a G, and that's what it is. The way you move, the way you shift your eyes and hips, your face and lips, just something about you.
See, basically, the moral of the story is,
baby girl, I ain't leaving without you.
Hey, how you doing? Baby, what you getting into? Baby, what you getting into? Oh, girl, I ain't leaving without you. Hey, girl, how you doing? How you doing? I've never seen nothing like you. Cause the body that shape is your claim to fame. Girl, I ain't leaving without you. Hey, baby, what's that in your cup? You didn't let me fill that up. You know I'm trying to see what's up with you. Hey, hey, girl, how you doing? About your man, you should have had you by the hand. Cause I'm your number one.
The station that plays everything for you.
Turn it up, turn it up, hey.
Classic hip hop and R&B on Power. Blendz 99.8.
Hey. Hey.
I used to think that love was so silly, something that a girl like me never dreamed of. And it was for me, no, not really. But there was not a guy who was special enough until you came and made me so happy. Like a child on Christmas Day. I was so anticipating. And I didn't know I could ever feel this way. Love's all about changing my heart. You brought me so much joy. Love song. Love's all the hopes of a girl and a boy. I used to think love was a mystery, something that I just could not figure out. I never had no sister, not even a clue what true love was about, until you came and made a like the very first day. I was so excited. Girl, I didn't know I had love inside of me. was yours.
Yes, we are back.
We are
I am
back.
Ice Cold Ray the Gang.
And I'm Lady S. Claire.
And we are
Legally Loaded. And this is it. This is our last segment of the day.
Right.
So we're gonna get this tea. We're gonna get this tea.
Yeah, we need to
stirred
talk
up
about
just right.
Passive what?
Passive resistance. Passive resistance. And I'm gonna say that it's.
Wait a minute. Before we get there, let's go back to.
You want to run that back? Like
who?
Run it back.
Who can say that we're resistant, and we need to break down why.
Okay.
These entities can
say it. Yeah. So it's not just police officers. It's not just your local police, your state police, your sheriff's departments, but also probation officers, parole officers, correction officers, ICE agents.
Hold up.
I know.
Hold up.
I know, but let me swing back around to them. Game wardens and wildlife officers. So 4 of the 5 of those have the last word officer in their title, right? So that makes it a little bit easier for us to put it together with police officers. All of them are sworn officers.
And game wardens.
Game wardens, they're like the police over your hunting and those type of things.
Oh, okay.
Right. So they're officers as well. They're probably park rangers that would fall into this as well.
Right.
So just officers with different areas of jurisdiction is what that comes down to. So but probation officers, parole officers are often state employees, DOC, Department of Corrections employees as well. And they've got authority over you. If you're on probation or parole, they've got some type of authority over you because you agreed to be on probation or parole as opposed to being locked up.
So ICE agents.
ICE agents. That's a tough one.
ICE agents is you and I.
Right. But for right now, they got authority. I don't agree with it. I'm sure you don't agree with it.
I definitely don't agree with it.
It is what it is right now. So that's why I was like, let me put them over here.
Right.
Over here. Because it hasn't always been. But I suppose to a degree they've always had authority because if you were actually an illegal immigrant and there actually were executing the law correctly, then they would have authority and you can't resist them. But with what they're doing right now, I think we just see them, like you said, as me and you, they're just out here. They don't know how to be an officer. They don't even have valid training. So
not at all.
But when you go back to what they used to do, valid officer authority.
So let's go back to I pulled over, my windows are down,
Yep.
My car is turned off, and my hand is on the steering wheel, and I'm not moving at all. Officer walks up, get out of the vehicle.
How are you resisting?
How am I resisting?
So that officer.
So I'm supposed to comply with that because he told me to get out the vehicle. He didn't even say if I was speeding or if I made a wrong turn or anything like that. How am I
there's
resisting?
a presumption that officer didn't pull you over unless he had probable cause to stop you.
Okay.
Okay, that's a presumption. That means a presumption is that from the beginning we're going to assume that they had probable cause to stop you, but we can dispute that later. We can say later, I don't agree with the probable cause. So that's why I say it's a presumption. The law looks at it as they're not supposed to stop you unless they have probable cause. So if they're stopping you, they have legal reason to stop you, meaning now there's an investigation. They stopped you for a reason, so they could start some type of traffic investigation. So once that investigation has begun, now they can give you lawful orders. So when they ask you to get out in a traffic stop, we're presuming that they had a good reason to stop you, probable cause to stop you.
Why not ask me for my license and registration?
They could, but what if they already ran your tags and they know who you are? I'm not saying they always do, but if they're walking up and they're not asking any questions, maybe they already ran the tags before they even lit you up. Maybe they've been behind you for 4 blocks. You know, all those times when we're in the car and we see the police and we're like, ooh, they running my tags, they running my tags, they running my tags.
That happens all the
know
time.
It's about to happen, right? So if they ran the tags and your tags come up connected to you and then they automatically see that you have a warrant or something like that, or you have a...
What if I don't have nothing? What was on
if you don't have nothing, they
clean
walk up
water
and
help.
tell you to get out the car, I'm going to need them not to do that. They shouldn't be doing that. But I can't prove that right that second. I'm just going to be real with you. I can't prove that right that second. I hope I get body cam later and that I can prove it and I can fight it for you. But at that moment, you refusing to get out of the car could make things harder for me or another attorney later on to say this officer was dead wrong. It could make it harder. Not saying it'll make it impossible, but it could make it harder.
So in these situations, why is it that badge makes them judge and jury outside?
That's a hard question because we feel like it makes them judge and jury outside, but what it really makes them is the top authority right then. You know, you can go to work and if you've got a manager and then a supervisor,
Right.
your supervisor's not present. Your manager tells you to do something. For that moment, your manager's in charge. Your supervisor's off on vacation. What are you going to do? You're not calling your supervisor to say, hey, Joe over here, the manager, told me blah, 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 and I refuse to do it. So you're going to have to work with that situation until the supervisor gets there so that you can then take that to the next level. So I think that's the best way to explain it to everybody is for that moment, they're the manager. You may not like everything they're saying. The judge is the supervisor. When we get to court, that's when we get to say they were wrong. They did not follow the protocol, the standard operating procedures for our company, whatever that may be, and we need to talk about this.
Okay.
So we let's talk though about the different types of passive resistance because I don't want our listeners to miss out on that this week.
No problem.
So we've got several examples. One of them being refusing to exit a vehicle.
Okay.
So we've talked about that. Let's also say that going limp, dropping your body to dead weight. So you're outside the vehicle. The officer says, I'm putting you in my car to detain you because we're doing an investigation. Walk over to the car, please. Ice cold. Walk to the car.
Right.
And you like, nope. And you drop your body dead weight. That is a form of passive resistance under the law because you're interfering You're interfering with them getting you to the car. They're asking you to come over here while they do this investigation. So your action is obstructing them from moving forward, whatever the case may be. So that's one way. Going limp, dropping your body, dead weight. You can end up charged with a felony doing that. Another way, lying about someone at the door. So the police have an arrest warrant for somebody that's inside your house. You lie and say, they ain't here. My brother ain't home right now. But you know he's inside the house.
So they're going to walk in the house anyway.
Maybe not. Maybe they're going to say, all right, we'll stand out here till we get a warrant. Maybe they came and they're like, hey, is your brother home? And you're like, nope, he ain't here. All right, cool. They're going to sit outside the house and surround the house and wait till they get a signed warrant. And when they get in there and they find out that he was there and you lied.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
You're interfered.
Right.
Or obstructed.
Right.
But you never fought the police. You were never aggressive with the police.
But you
that's passive.
In the investigation.
Right. So that's a way we could be passive. Blocking a doorway. So there's an officer trying to execute a warrant. You're not touching the officer. You're not touching them, but you're standing here like this and you're moving back and forth. And you're not trying to let them into your house. You're pushing the door up and then putting your body between the door and the door jamb so that they can't come in. But you're not touching the officer, not fighting the officer. You're not doing any of that. That's why so that's another way that you can be passively resisting or obstructing. That's also why many states have something called resisting, obstructing, or interfering with violence or without violence. So it categorizes it, right? So how does that then, a lot of times that's going to be a misdemeanor. In a lot of our states, that's going to be a misdemeanor. Something like what disorderly conduct. We've all heard of disorderly conduct. You know, you're acting up. You shouldn't be out here doing this. But when you add some other things to the mix, like running away from the police when they tell you, hey, stop, and they're giving you a lawful order. When they're giving you a lawful order, hey guys, I don't have time to go into it right now, but they can tell you to stop and you stop even though they shouldn't have told you. And if you get a good attorney to look at that, then you may find that was an unlawful order and your charges get dropped. But don't run.
So what if I'm walking down the street and the cop pulls over telling me to stop? What am I stopping for?
Yeah.
I'm just walking, minding my business.
I'm saying, so they may not have a lawful reason to be telling you, but at that moment, you also don't know. You don't know if someone called in something about you and they had a reason to be looking for you.
Or somebody that has the same clothing I have on.
Yeah, you don't know. So, but if it was an unlawful command and you shouldn't have had to stop, that's something for your attorney to look at the body cam and challenge it. But don't just run instead. That's gonna get you a felony. Risk of injury. If you create a situation where the officer, or not just the officer, but a bystander could get injured. So, as soon as these things go down, everybody in your neighborhood, everybody in your apartment complex, everybody's out there, everybody's filming.
Hostile environment.
Yeah, and now something happens and a little kid gets hurt or could have gotten hurt.
Right.
That's a reason for this to raise to the level of felony. And then the other thing is any force. If you're pushing, pulling away aggressively, wrestling a police officer,
right,
obviously that is resisting, obstructing, interfering. So basically, if they ask you to do something and it's a lawful command,
comply.
Please comply. Please comply. And I know we hate that word, everybody. We hate that word. We don't like to feel like we have no choice but to comply.
Right.
But you are saving yourself so much trouble.
Right.
When you're complying, just know that we already told you have rights, and you can go back to an attorney and you can ask them to help you fight that. So do what you need to do so that the body cam is clean, so that your attorney has something to work with.
Right.
So want to recap what we talked about today?
So we talked about what's his name? Anthony
Williams II, Austin,
about
Texas, who unfortunately lost his life because they thought his water bottle
was a gun.
And it was probably a mental health issue.
Right. And then we talked about
Lon Hartman
right,
in Detroit.
He went to a festival and they found him with his
throat slit. And he has indicated it was a hate crime.
Right.
And then we talked about
resisting arrest.
resisting arrest and passive resistance. Guys, don't get caught up in the passive resistance trap. We will see you next week.
Exactly.
I am Lady Esquire.
And I am Ice Cold Dre the King, and we
are
legally loaded.
Blendz 99.8 represent.
We said that too. We gotta get to 90 minutes.